Today, we spoke with the police and they've told us they've been authorized to open fire. Deep in the Peruvian Andes, local people have taken control of the mountain roads. They are supporters of the deposed president Pedro Castillo, who was arrested in December after trying to dissolve Congress and rule by decree.
Nuestros hospitales abandonados, nuestra educación abandonado, todo está abandonado.
Most here are poor, indigenous farmers and miners who work southern Peru's resource-rich land but see little in return.
Hemos sido relegados por más de 200 años. Nunca hemos tenido una distribución equitativa de nuestros recursos.
Castillo, a left-wing former union leader, promised to change all of that. And these protesters believe he was overthrown by a corrupt political elite in the capital Lima, who have never done anything to help them.
¡Viene el ejército! ¡Tenemos que pararnos con todos nuestros hijos para seguir defendiendo nuestro pueblo, nuestra tierra!
Violent protests have spread across Peru since Castillo's removal. Clashes with police have led to more than 50 deaths and hundreds injured. Castillo's successor, President Boluarte, has done little to quell the anger, refusing to resign and calling the protests terrorism. The protesters call her a traitor. But while the flashpoints dominate the headlines, Peru is in a state of paralysis. Cusco is the closest major town to Machu Picchu and so relies heavily on tourism. That has completely shut down because tourists have been told it's too dangerous to travel here. Protesters roam the streets daily, demanding that shops and other businesses close. The barricades have created a massive fuel crisis, and lorries are stuck on roadblocks, bringing Peru's economy to a complete halt. We traveled the winding highways through the Andes, heading for the town of Juliaca. We were stopped at barricade after barricade. This journey usually takes 5 hours. This time, it was 2 days. Juliaca is the scene of the worst violence during the weeks of chaos. On the 9th of January, 17 people were killed as police used live ammunition on protesters at the airport. Among those killed was a medical student called Marco Samillan. I met his family, who told me he was in clear medical uniform and treating an injured protester, but the police shot him anyway.
¿Por qué mataron así a mi hermano? ¿Porque valía menos o porque era provinciano? Se va a callar la protesta. Hay una cosa que nos diferencia de los provincianos a la gente de la capital, que acá la gente fácilmente no se rinde. No los van a callar. Quizás morirán más, pero no los van a callar. Cada noche lo lloro. Para mí nunca más la vida va a ser igual. Nunca más. Él me abrazaba en mis momentos de dolor, de angustia. Y ahora no está. Yo me siento vacía y me siento obligada a vivir, porque si por mí fuera yo no viviría. Yo no quiero vivir.
Today, the area around the airport in Juliaca looks like a war zone. This was the place where 17 people died in clashes with the police. Hundreds of people tried to take over the airport. They destroyed the fence, and they were trying to stop police and military reinforcements arriving to the airport. Today, we spoke with the police, and they've told us they've been authorized to open fire. I met with a brigade of young volunteer medics who Marco was working with the day he was killed.
Fue una masacre total. En mi opinión fue una masacre total porque de un momento a otro ya heridos de perdigones y después que aparezcan heridos de bala en la cabeza, en el pecho, como les digo, o sea, heridas mortales, ¿no?
These are just medical students. They had never seen anything like this before.
¿Cómo hacían para tratarlas?
En ese momento no estábamos preparados para esta situación, nadie se imaginaba que iban a haber heridos de bala, ¿verdad? Atendimos como pudimos, ¿no? Lo primero que hemos hecho es parar la hemorragia.
These remote regions have not seen violence like this since the days of Shining Path, a Maoist insurgent group which killed thousands of Peruvians in the 80s and 90s. The military were sent in to crush the far-left group then, and that response killed thousands of civilians too. So videos like this evoke unpleasant memories. Military units are moving into the area having been ordered to clear the barricades blocking the highways. But the protesters are determined to fight, and further violence seems inevitable. Marco's medical colleagues accompany his family to the cemetery for his funeral. This was a young man who died trying to save the lives of others.
Hermanos, familia, yo hago el compromiso aquí, al lado de este médico que salvó su vida, que no nos vamos a olvidar y vamos a pedir justicia, y justicia la vamos a encontrar, porque el pueblo nunca se va a olvidar.
The protests began as support for one politician and his failed coup, but they are beyond that now. This is a cry of anger from people who don't feel valued by the leaders of their country. They believe their lives are seen as worthless by a government they think just doesn't care whether they live or die.
Nosotros no somos terroristas, terrorista tu concha de tu